Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
We're supposed to protect them, and we're failing them every single day. My son was a warning, and no one listened.
Now at 6:30, her son survived. Today, a fourth grader was not as fortunate. She was killed on her bike in a crosswalk near a school. That mom wants to know what will get results. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, Getting Results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. Also, with Memorial Day weekend at hand, beaches should be packed, but law enforcement is sounding a safety alert.
But if they do come to town, we're ready for them.
While at least 2 local cities are bracing for unsanctioned events that don't have permits, and what's being done to increase penalties, get results, and keep people safe.
Plus, what many think is a real-life haunted mansion, why this historic local home is in danger, how poker players are getting results, and of course, we'll share the ghost tales and our top trending stories. But we start with the weather. Get ready for extreme heat. Temperatures could come close to triple digits just in time for the holiday.
That's right. Let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells, breaking everything down. Tom.
Yeah, Justin and Ginger, we talk about triple digits all the time in the real field, the heat index. We're going to have the heat index past 100, but for real, our actual temperature, the real deal, could hit 100 before it's over. Here's radar tonight with no radar echoes. Downtown Orlando looks great. Light Orlando delivering Hope camera has a reading of 90. Wind from the east at 3. But here's the big deal. Look, tomorrow's daytime high is 97. The record for tomorrow's 98. That is so close. All the other reporting stations should miss record territory, but watch this. Over the weekend, Saturday's high is 97 again with a slight chance of rain. Then on Sunday, a high of 99. That would be enough to tie the record. Monday, 99. The record on Monday is 100. We're going to be this close to 100, and the heat index will easily be 101 to 107. I know it's Memorial Day weekend. You want to get out, commemorate. Please be careful. I'll be back with an update a little bit later in the 7-day forecast when the rain should come back. See you there.
Dangerous territory. Thank you, Tom. Our other top story at 6:30 tonight, a local mom is once again calling for action and demanding results after a fourth grader was hit and killed as she rode her bike to school. Port Orange police tell us she is the third student hit by a car in that area in the last 5 years. Now, this morning's crash happened as the girl used a crosswalk at Charles Street near the entrance to Sugar Mill Elementary School. A local mom tells Catherine Silver she has pressed for changes after her own son was hit. Fortunately, he survived.
The chief of police walked us through what he knows so far so we can show you. The little girl was riding her bike down the sidewalk through this marked crosswalk. The car was leaving campus when they collided. Port Orange police want to understand exactly how and why this happened and what can be done to prevent this from ever happening again. It was just after 7 o'clock in the morning, the second to last week of the school year, when Port Orange police say a girl biking to Sugar Mill Elementary was hit by a car and killed.
And I come over here and I see the lady on her knees, shaking, asking for help. She said she didn't see her.
Police say that driver stayed at the scene. Minutes earlier, they had dropped off another student.
Quite frankly, the driver was very distraught, so difficult to talk to.
Manuel Marino is the police chief.
It's a reminder, unfortunately, that there's still about a week of the school year left, so we urge everyone to be vigilant.
What's the priority for the district right now?
Number one is get everyone the support they need.
A spokesperson for Volusia County Schools says the little girl was in the 4th grade. We learned from police that she is the third student hit by a car near here within the last 5 years.
We're supposed to protect them, and we're failing them every single day.
Stephanie Cathy's son is one of them.
It was in this crosswalk that we're standing in. My husband was riding his bike with him to school. She just hit the gas and hit him, and he flew into oncoming traffic.
What went through your mind when you heard that another child was hit again?
I knew it. I said it was only a matter of time. I'm not comparing this incident to today's incident because my son is here, but my son was a warning, and no one listened.
These orange poles were put in place to stop parents from parking there, and Cathy made this sign, a tragic reminder.
A child was hit by a car here. Parents, do better.
It speaks for itself, but she also has this message.
What is it going to take? I'm thankful that these are up, but we need cross guards. It's too dangerous.
And safety is too important. We asked the district what more can be done.
We work with the sheriff's office for crossing guards. There are a lot of partners in this, and so we want to make sure we engage those partners to see what different roles we play and how we can, of course, make things safer.
Safe to say that's a process that's going to start today?
Number one is grieving, but there have already been people out this morning walking the area and looking into it, yes. Our goal is they come to school every day and they go home every day.
And Port Orange police say they will have an increased presence here through the end of the school year. As for the driver from this crash, will they face any charges? The chief says that question will be answered as they continue to investigate. In Port Orange, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
8 people are recovering after an airboat crash in Osceola County. Sky 6 was over the scene for this. The sheriff's office has 11 people were on board when the airboat hit a sandbar. It was coming back through a canal that links Lake Toho and East Lake Toho. The tour group told News 6 that 8 people have been taken to the hospital. They had minor injuries. He says they've been dealing with very shallow water recently, and he thinks that the level must have dropped overnight.
He was doing about 10, maybe 12 miles an hour. Out here, you don't have brakes on them, so you have to basically anything that's in front of you, and he ran up on a sandbar, trying to ease up through there. And when he did, instead of the boat actually moving with it, it was just like putting his brakes on. The people that was on the boat, basically from each seat forward, just moved forward over top of the next person, over top of the next person, and that's basically how it happened.
The Coast Guard and Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission are investigating the crash.
Well, despite a helium leak, NASA says the Boeing Starliner can safely fly as is and should be ready to send up its first astronauts as soon as next weekend. A valve on the Atlas V rocket scrubbed the first launch attempt May 6. It has been pushed back several times as launch teams study the helium leak. And as News 6's James Barbero tells us, mission managers remain confident the Starliner is safe.
So since the scrub came down on May 6, NASA has announced 4 new launch attempt dates for the Boeing Starliner crew flight test. Today was just the first day in all that schedule shuffling that the mission managers say they were ready to tell us about all that work behind the scenes. They say the teams have been working 7 days a week to get the spacecraft ready to try again.
I know there's some frustration out there about us sharing information in a timely way. I can assure you that the teams were working up until late yesterday, coming to a conclusion.
Over the phone, NASA told us since the first launch attempt, they've replaced that bad valve on the Atlas V rocket, and they said that helium leak is stable, so they think Starliner is safe to fly. When we had a briefing here at Kennedy Space Center in person a few weeks ago, I asked Mark Nappy with Boeing about working through what's been years of delays. Mark was then asked today how concerned he is discovering more problems. Here's how he answered.
Hardware issues or hardware failures are just part of our business. The important thing is how do you react to it and how do you learn from it? So no, I'm not concerned with our process that leads up to this.
NASA says neither are Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams, the Starliner astronauts. When the scrub came down, they were within just a couple hours from launching to the space station. Now Butch and Sonny are back in Houston, but they'll return to KSC on Tuesday. Their next launch attempt is scheduled for Saturday, June 1st at 12:25 in the afternoon. And of course, if that changes again, we'll keep you updated on clickorlando.com. At NASA's Kennedy Space Center, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
Well, even without a launch, Brevard's beaches will likely be packed this holiday weekend, and Cocoa Beach has a warning. On Facebook, city leaders say they are aware of an illegal special event called Beach Day Party. It's supposed to happen on Saturday. It is expected to bring in 5,000 to 10,000 visitors, and it is unpermitted. So city leaders are doubling the fines for traffic violations. They'll tow cars if they have to, and police say they will make arrests if necessary.
2 Volusia County cities are monitoring plans for 2 more unsanctioned pop-up beach events, and they're ready to respond as well. But that's probably not the biggest concern for beachgoers. Live look now from the Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia Beach Cam. Really gorgeous evening. And I can tell you, rip currents, though, a real danger out here. At least 15 rescues today alone. News 6's Molly Reed looks at what's being done and what you need to know to keep the beach safe.
Well, big crowds and these red flags waving on the lifeguard towers. The police and lifeguards here in Volusia County are gearing up to take on several major issues this weekend. Number one being those dangerous rip currents, and that's why it's so important as soon as you show up to the beach to start looking at these signs with the day's conditions.
We've had hazardous rescue or rip current conditions throughout the last few days. Since the beginning of March, we rescued over a little over 400 people from the water.
Volusia Beach Safety Chief Tammy Malfer says they're expecting a jam-packed weekend for lifeguards.
So that's why it's extremely important, no matter what. If there's not a lifeguard out there, don't go in the water.
Law enforcement, on the other hand, is keeping an eye on who is showing up this weekend. Now, the chief here in New Smyrna tells us that Memorial Day isn't typically their rowdiest holiday, but this year there are two unsanctioned or unpermitted events that police are monitoring. One up in Daytona Beach and another down here in New Smyrna involving trucks.
Our hope is that, due to all the events they've set up out at the Speedway, that's going to be where they generally stay. But if they do come to town, we're ready for them.
The reason police are preparing for a bad scenario, back in 2021, we showed you how a truck meet event like this in Daytona Beach led to about 940 citations, 52 arrests, and a road rage shooting. Volusia County has since created special event zones for unsanctioned events with increased fines and penalties for breaking laws.
We coordinate that with the Sheriff's Department. If it's unsanctioned event, they have a great track record about, reaching out for those organizers and letting them know what the true cost is going to be. And we will absolutely, if we need to do something like that, do that.
Down here in New Smyrna Beach, the chief tells me that they aren't enacting that special event zone just yet, but they are keeping it in their back pocket to pull out if they need to. Both the lifeguards and the police departments will be fully staffed, though, to take on the crowds. In New Smyrna Beach, Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
And with the three-day weekend, no surprise, beach dangers are among the top stories trending tonight on clickorlando.com.
Yeah, of course, the surf is not the only option for a Memorial Day weekend getaway. AAA says a record-setting 2.5 million Floridians will travel 50 miles or more. So tell us about your plans.
Well, more than 250 of you weighed in on last night's question, and that was, which Florida animal scares you the most? Right? All right, so sorry, shark. See you later, alligator. Both scored high, but even pythons squeezed out in the end. There it is. Cockroaches, hands down, the scariest in the state, according to those who voted. 33%, though. I mean, they are scary. Again, you can weigh in on tonight's question of the day at clickorlando.com/react.
That is surprising to me that the cockroaches.
What's equally surprising is the skunk ape wasn't high up on that list either.
Exactly. Our second top trending story could make a day trip more affordable over the next 3 days. The headline, free admission. State parks won't cost Florida residents over the holiday weekend. Governor Ron DeSantis announced this promotion last month. Florida has nearly 200 state parks and thousands of miles of trails. In our area, it includes Wekiva Springs in Orange County, Silver Springs State Park in Marion County, and of course De Leon Springs and Blue Spring in Volusia County. Find details on the homepage of clickorlando.com, but a word of caution, expect crowds because the word free is in the headline.
That is true. That is true. You go to Wekiva Island this weekend. Hopefully you're already setting up.
It's going to be really people-y out there.
Yes, it will. Well, a push to save a piece of Seminole County history rounds out our top trending stories. And with this headline, it probably is easy to see why. This haunted Florida house is chock full of secrets, but it's running out of time. Here's how to help.
Okay, so if it's really haunted, then clickorlando.com and News 6 digital producer Anthony Talcott is here to tell us all about it.
And Tony, you got to tour this home for yourself, and you learned more about its somewhat spooky past.
Oh, that's right, Justin. We're talking about the Bradley McIntyre house, which was originally built down in Altamont Springs, but it was later on moved to Longwood. Now, between the two locations, it's been in Central Florida for around, give or take, 140 years, and it's definitely seen better days. Now, the three-story Queen Anne-style home is a national landmark, and it's made up of mainly hard pine, which keeps it sturdy, but also makes it pretty hot inside, as I got to find out myself. Now, the home also has some ghost stories about guests feeling strange presences, seeing figures, and, one visitor finding quote-unquote strange orbs in a photo she took on one of the first-floor parlors. Now, that probably feeds into why the house hosts a Halloween horror tour, where a magician takes guests through the house telling them spooky ghost stories all the while. Now, what's putting the house at risk right now is the very real passage of time. The home is in desperate need of severe repairs, including a new metal roof, before the next tropical storm or hurricane hits. The house will be hosting a poker tournament tomorrow evening to raise money for the repairs. Now, this is the 3rd annual event, and it's expected to be a huge moneymaker. Now, you can sign up right now for the tournament or donate money to the house on clickorlando.com. And, of course, I take a deeper dive into its past. Now, you can just look for my story on the homepage of clickorlando.com. Ginger?
Okay,
Justin?
so did anything, I mean, they're holding a poker tournament at the house. Did anything poke you while you were there?
So it's not going to be at the house itself. It's actually going to be a little ways down.
Okay.
But it's going to be for the house. All the funds for that are going to be going toward restoring
But you were
that.
in the house, right?
Yep, they took me on a tour
Did
through the
anything
entire
reach
place.
out and touch you, is what I'm asking.
Not quite, but
Just
they
the
did
beads
take
of
me through
sweat.
some back rooms.
It's just sweat, yeah.
Just the beads of sweat going down the back.
Oh, yeah. No,
So
there's an
no
entire
AC or
creepy
anything,
back
huh?
area.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty nice place, but it's not a place I'd want to be in the
We
middle
got to
of the night.
protect the historic homes, though.
That's
Haunted or
true.
not, I
Yeah.
don't care. You got to protect those
This heat
historic
is not
homes.
helpful,
No.
though. All right, Tony, thank you. All right, a local retiree who relies on Social Security got an upsetting alert. Her Social Security was suspended.
And it's because she was a prime suspect in a huge drug trafficking ring.
So I was shocked because how could my name be linked to drug trafficking?
Doesn't look like a drug trafficker, right? Well, the email looked legit, so did the phone calls that were following up. But of course, this was all a lie by imposters trying to steal her identity and her money. How you can tell truth from fiction next in tonight's Schemes and Ripoffs report.
Plus, a big break for some local moms and dads looking to send their kids to summer camp. The donation that's letting one local YMCA offer up to $55 a week.
And big news from SpaceX when they soon plan to fly the next prototype of the super heavy lift Starship rocket system. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Palm Coast, Lady Lake, and all of Central Florida. Stay with us.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
A warning for seniors on Social Security. Federal government imposters are using scare tactics to try and intimidate you.
Yeah, they claim your account has been suspended, but as News 6 investigator Mike Holfeld is finding out, that is not the case. Here is this week's Schemes and Ripoffs report.
So I was shocked because how could my name be linked to drug trafficking, you know?
This was the email that started it all.
We are thoroughly investigating your case, and we need your full cooperation in order to solve it as soon as possible.
And then who signs it?
There's no signature, but it says Social Security Administration here.
Okay. Connie Cruz, retired on Social Security, had just been alerted by the Social Security Administration.
She said, right now, I am the main suspect.
The main suspect in a drug trafficking operation so big, her Social Security account had been temporarily suspended. She found herself talking to someone claiming to be DEA Administrator Karen Tandy.
No third party should be involved. This has to be between you and the department only.
But Connie Cruz wanted proof, so they sent her a photo and a badge number.
So she said, you know, if I don't cooperate, then I can get arrested.
The thing is, the real Karen Tandy stepped down from that position 17 years ago. This is how she really sounds.
I think this is probably going to surprise you. I've been part of DEA as a prosecutor for decades.
So you hear the two voices, you've heard the real Miss Tandy, and then the imposter.
It didn't sound the same.
News 6 presented this story to the DEA, the agency assuring us, quote, it will only notify people of a legitimate investigation or legal action in person or by official letters. According to the FTC, about 1 in 5 people lost money in imposter scams last year alone. In this case, it never got to that.
So people at home understand when you hear that account is suspended, how important is that Social Security check to you?
Oh my God, that's where I get my daily living, you know?
That is the common weapon. They use intimidation and fear to catch you off guard. I want to stop here for a minute. This is the first time we've seen imposters use 2 federal agencies. Here's the key. When they contact you, contact the agency directly. Don't use the links that these imposters are providing. Remember, the truth will always expose the lie. Mike Hofeld, Getting Results, News 6.
Well, as Boeing, ULA, and NASA prepare to finally get Starliner off the ground with a crew, SpaceX is planning the 4th test flight of that bad boy. That is Starship.
Yeah, the company confirmed today it could launch the next prototype of its giant rocket as soon as June 5th. The company is just waiting for the FAA to give approval. SpaceX put out images from a launch rehearsal from earlier this week at their site near Boca Chica, Texas. Elon Musk says the goal of this 4th test flight is to make it through maximum re-entry to test out what could be the first fully reusable heat shields. The last test in March nearly made it to orbit before the boosters in Starship were ordered to self-destruct. NASA is counting on using Starship to land Artemis 3 astronauts on the moon. Well, today marked the last day of school for Seminole, Brevard, Marion, Lake, and Orange counties. And if you're still looking for a summer camp, the YMCA in Pine Hills is offering a pretty great deal.
That's right. The price is more than half off. And as News 6's Ezzy Castro shows us, it's all thanks to a donation from the Heart of Florida United Way.
We know it's going to be hot this summer. Right here, something that the kids I know absolutely love doing. And you guys are offering swimming lessons as well.
Yes, so part of their swim experience is if they cannot swim, they're going to be with our instructors and we'll teach them how to swim.
YMCA Operations Director Pat Jackson is getting ready to welcome dozens of kids this summer at the Wayne Dench YMCA in Pine Hills. He says summer camp starts Tuesday, right after Memorial Day.
We also do opening ceremony. Opening ceremony for us is huge because that is the way to get them excited about camp. We really want to just focus on them and that start of the day.
While the Y is a tradition for many families, some parents are not able to afford summer camp, which is why the Heart of Florida United Way stepped in to get results.
We know this is great for the kids, but it's also important for the parents so they can work and not worry about their children.
The nonprofit donated $25,000 to the YMCA to help bring summer camp prices down and give parents the chance to register their kids for the program this year. Initially, the YMCA reduced the price from $150 to $110 a week. But with the donation from the Heart of Florida United Way, parents can pay $55 instead. And there are up to 50 spots open. So if you're interested, you can register your child right here at the Wayne Dench YMCA on Hastings Street.
Our communities have to trust each other a little more. Growing up, I knew my neighbors. Not everybody knows their neighbors. So I think for us, we hopefully can build neighbors coming together to build a better, stronger community.
In Pine Hills, Ezzy Castro, getting results, News 6.
One of our producers was saying earlier today that she went to the Y as a kid, and she still has lifelong friends from when she met them as kids there at the Y. So I love that. Yeah.
Love that.
Do you really?
No, I heard that
Oh,
too.
you heard it. I thought you were like,
No, dude.
I was like, you don't have friends, Tom?
I have lots of friends, but we didn't have a Y. Where do you think I grew up, man?
I don't know.
We didn't have camp. Go to the radar. My whole life was camp. Wasn't yours?
No, yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah, man. My whole life is camp. Get outside. Go play. Drink water from the hose. I'll see you for dinner. What do you do for lunch? Who cares? You'll find something. Here's radar. No rain on radar right now. We are good to go into the evening. Precipitation outlook for the upcoming weekend looks pretty slack. Precip outlook May 30th through June the 3rd looks just as dry. Temperature outlook looks just as hot, if not hotter. We're stuck. We're stuck with it. Daytime high tomorrow, 97. Sunday, 99. Memorial Day Monday, 99. Record on Sunday, we ought to be able to tie if we can get to 99 degrees. Monday's high 99 misses the record by 1 little low degree dating back to 1962. It's going to be hot. Heat index trend is crazy. 101, 102, 103, depending on how much sunshine we get and whether or not any cloud cover kicks up. Here's the light Orlando delivering Hope camera. The daytime high today was 93 in the city beautiful. Currently, we are at 90 for about the second hour in a row. Wind is from the east at 3 miles per hour. Daytona Beach at news time. We're doing great. A lot of folks packing it in for the evening. There's nothing better than walking on the beach at this hour of the day. The golden hour is great. It's 84 right now in Daytona Beach. Temps where you live. 85 up here in Palm Coast, 90 in the Villages, 94 in Winter Haven. Why are we so hot? Mostly it's because of the southerly flow in the dry air. Very little humidity, so we warm quickly. Any relief that we could get with the systems back out west here, that cannot overrun the ridge of high pressure. So within the hour, colliding sea breeze is right there. No rain, maybe a sprinkle for someone, but for most of you, you get nada. Then tomorrow, sea breezes line up again. They collide and drift back out to the east. So if you're watching from the Cape down to coastal Brevard County, maybe tomorrow you do get some rain, but the rest of us will do without. Same on Sunday. Colliding sea breezes late. There they are by 4 or 5. Much of the area does without the rain. Lows tonight 70, 74 Orlando. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
Yep. High tomorrow 97 degrees with a 20% chance of rain. And from here, we just stay hot. 99 Sunday, 99 Monday, 98 Tuesday. Even on Wednesday next week, a high of 96 with a 40% chance of rain.
Thank you, Tom. Memorial Day can be a time for the beach, maybe a barbecue, but there is a serious side to the unofficial start of summer.
Yeah, we will take you out to a local Memorial Day ceremony when we come back in 2 minutes. Well, as many of you get ready for a 3-day weekend of fun and family time, it's important to remember the meaning behind Memorial Day. It has been a national holiday since 1971.
News 6 photojournalist Jeff Seegers brings us the sights and sounds of a ceremony dedicated to Central Floridians who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Over the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Memorial Day is important. We need to remember we didn't get this free. You know, freedom is never free.
You see the camaraderie and the love for this nation here. It is undeniable, the love that you feel.
You will see me on the bench in front of the Vietnam Wall because my brother's name is on there.
A memorial that represents those 1,186 veterans who left the 6 counties that the hospital system serves and did not return, dating back to World War I.
Memorial Day is a time to remember. It's a day for me personally for healing and interacting with so many other amazing Americans who are honoring those who have fallen in the same way that I do and finding others in similar situations. It's comforting, it's painful, but again, it's comforting, it's healing.
Seeing families have to take their loved ones back home in flag-draped caskets, they paid a price so that we could stand here today and not be worried.
We do not know one promise these men made, one pledge they gave, one word they spoke, but we do know they summed up and perfected by one supreme act the highest virtues of men and citizens. For love of country, they accepted death, and thus resolved all doubts, and made immortal their patriotism and their virtue.
Yeah, you just have to think about those guys when you put your head on your pillow tonight.
You do. And throughout this entire weekend as you spend time with your family doing what you want to do. So appreciate Jeff for that. Very well done.
Well done, yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you tonight at 11. Take care.
Twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome is a rare but potentially fatal disease, and until recently, there were few treatment options. But doctors here at Orlando Health Women's Institute have made huge strides in treating this serious issue. Joining me now is Dr. Mike Vlastos. So great to have you here today.
Very nice to see you, Elizabeth.
So twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, we don't hear a lot about it. It really only affects about 15% of women who are pregnant with identical twins. What exactly is it?
It's a unique disorder of 2 babies sharing one placenta. So those babies are identical twins. As such, they have identical genes. They have identical blood types. So through the placenta, they actually share blood vessels.
Okay.
One twin can send blood to the placenta and it goes down to get all the goodness and nutrition and fluids for mom. The other does the same. Except there are a number of vessels on the surface that one twin sends the blood to the placenta, it crosses to the other twin's blood vessel and goes to that other twin.
Okay.
And an imbalance occurs.
So essentially, one twin is getting too much blood and the other one isn't getting enough.
Exactly. And in that case, one baby with too much blood creates a lot of amniotic fluid. The other twin who's donating their blood, transfusing their co-twin, actually drinks all their amniotic fluid and can't really make any because they're so low on blood. One baby's overgrown, so to speak. One baby is undergrown. One baby's full of blood. One baby's very low on blood.
At what point in the pregnancy are you typically able to see the twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome?
We've seen this as early as 15 weeks and as late as 32 weeks. So it could happen anytime along this pathway.
Until recently, there weren't many treatment options for twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. But now you and your team actually do surgery while the babies are still in the womb.
The patient would come here and we put a very small scope like a microscope, through mom's skin, through the uterus, into the sac of the big baby, where we can see almost the entire surface of the placenta. Over the next 30 minutes to a couple of hours, we have to find all the connections between the twins. We slide a laser fiber down the scope, and we use that laser energy to burn those vessels closed, so no longer are the twins exchanging blood. Now they're on their own and can proceed through the pregnancy. The spread of this technology has radically changed the story for identical twins with twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome. It is a game changer.
For more information, visit orlandohealth.com/women.